Assassin's Creed Shadows got delayed and we got an update on Ubisoft's situation. There will also be many opportunities to test upcoming games. We got leaks, of course, this week and way more. Sony was, for example, at CES and announced some interesting PlayStation related things. A ton of gaming news to go over, so sit back and let's go. Let's start with Xbox because, as the rumors suggested, they are back with a developer direct on January 23rd. It will showcase new gameplay and I would not be surprised if we also get a release date for South of Midnight that I really hope turns out well. We will also get new gameplay and hopefully a release date for Clair Obscur Expedition 33 that has a ton of potential and might end up being one of the best looking games that we get this year. But the highlight will totally be Doom the Dark Ages. We only have one trailer for the game so far, so seeing way more will be exciting, and just like every developer direct, they will have a surprise as well. 2 years ago this was Hi-Fi Rush, Vision of Mana was the surprise from Square Enix last year, and this year they say that they will visit a surprise location to see another studio's brand new game, and high chance that this is Double Fine, who after Psychonauts 2 in 2021 have been hard at work on their next title. Maybe it's another Shadow drop, that would be awesome and I think could totally help Double Fine, but I'm not expecting it overall. But it's totally the most likely candidate, unless they go for a third-party studio again. Other recent Xbox rumors talked about an Oblivion remake that should still be happening, maybe even launch in June this year, but it won't be at this show, as I speculated before as well. It is the 19th anniversary on March 20th though, so maybe that is when they drop the reveal. And I, by the way, have way more new Xbox rumors and leaks in the rumor roundup later on in the video, but let me know if you're excited for the developer direct. I think the lineup is great and these shows usually give a ton of details, so a nice start of the year. Moving on to the shocker that you might have already heard about, but Assassin's Creed Shadows has been delayed again, this time from February 14th to March 20th. They note that they got a lot of extra feedback since the new gameplay they shared through blog posts that I of course covered here and posted on the JorRaptor channel, and a few additional weeks are needed to implement that feedback and ensure an even more ambitious and engaging day one experience. Now they did not say what that feedback was, and I will try and get answers and report back when I know more, but this new release date of course also means that they are no longer launching around the many heavy hitters like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Civilization 7, Avowed, Yakuza and Monster Hunter. They now kind of have marched to themselves. Like, I'm super bummed out. I was super ready to play this in February, but in the end, this extra month, which basically means that they can add a really sizable update worth of improvements and fixes to the game, will be worth it in the end. They also confirmed during their last minute investor call that this coming week there will be a hands-on event at the development studio in Ubisoft Quebec for journalists and content creators, and this is not confirmed, but Tom Henderson notes that the embargo for this event is on January 23rd. So it means that that is when we will likely see more gameplay and impressions. Of course, as always, subscribe and hit the bell notification to not miss any of my content. But yeah, the previous delay pushed the marketing up as well, but that doesn't seem to be the plan here. Now they also want to use these extra 34 days to build more hype through extra trailers and information. Like as stated before, Assassin's Creed Shadows is insanely important for Ubisoft. They did a last minute investor call this week where they said that they fell like 50 to 70 million short of their expectations for the most recent quarter. And that was mostly because they expected more from the Star Wars Outlaws discounts and the Steam release. Ubisoft also said that they now appointed leading advisors to review and pursue various transformational strategic and capitalistic options to extract the best value for stakeholders. So translation, still nothing concrete, but they basically put one extra step towards a potential buyout, although it does seem like they want to wait and see how Shadows does before making any concrete plans. They also hinted at the idea of offloading certain franchises and maybe the studios that work on those series, like what if PlayStation comes in, for example, to buy the Division franchise from Ubisoft in an attempt to get more live service games, and then also gets like Ubisoft Massive in Sweden. Just an example, of course, I'm not saying that that will happen, but it does seem that the less popular franchises, so probably things like Splinter Cell, Prince of Persia, Rayman, Beyond Good and Evil, maybe even Watch Dogs, are on the table for a potential sale. They already announced that even more cost reductions, aka layoffs, are on the way, so it could totally be that the teams working on these less popular franchises will not have a job anymore in the next few months. It won't be pretty, and I totally feel for the Ubisoft employees who are kind of in an uncertain period right now. Now, I think Shadows will do better than Origins and Odyssey at launch, but not Valhalla levels. Although, if the game is good, and again, the delays will help with that, good word of mouth might carry this title through the year, and it might end up being one of the best-selling games. But still, that won't change the fact that things have to change. So it will be fascinating, but also kind of sad to follow this, probably. I will, of course, keep you posted. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Leave a like if you like these big gaming news roundup videos, and subscribe, because we post one of them every Sunday. Now let's do quick shots, news stories I will go over quickly. As you might know, CES happened, the biggest tech convention to kick off the year, and we of course got the GeForce RTX 50 graphics cards that can cost you up to $2,000. While the 5070 at $550 should be on par with the 4090 in certain titles. But we also got PlayStation updates, or at least announcements for their cross-media efforts. For one, Horizon Zero Dawn is getting a movie in collaboration with Columbia Pictures, so yes, a film of the first game, likely instead of the Netflix show they first wanted to do, but that got cancelled. I think a Netflix show would have been better, so they got more time to properly set up the world. Like, there's way more interesting things going on than the main plot, but I think a movie just has to focus on that main plot mostly, so I don't know. Holding my fingers crossed. Again, every property except for Bloodborne gets some sort of like cross-media type thing. We learned that Helldivers 2 will also get a movie. Also interesting is that they are developing an anime show based on Ghost of Tsushima Legends, the multiplayer component, and this should air in 2027 and might hint at a return of the mode in some way, shape or form for Ghost of Yotei. Again, Sony is looking for more live service successes, and I totally think a Ghost of Tsushima Legends like standalone live service game has a ton of potential. And reminder, there's also a regular Ghost of Tsushima live action movie in the works from the John Wick director. They also at CES announced that The Last of Us Season 2 will begin on Sunday, April 13th on HBO Max. And again, CES is all about future technology, so they also showed an immersive Last of Us experience where with the help of Sony Crystal LED panels, they create location-based technologies that basically transforms you into the world of, in this case, The Last of Us, and lets you smell things as well. Not sure if you ever tried a VR escape room. I'm really getting like Sandbox VR vibes from this, which like a Unreal's experience where you can also walk around and have to shoot at incoming enemies. You work together with your friends. Only Sony now creates this basically without a VR headset and with smell. I think this could be cool if this turned into an activity you can do with friends. And knowing Sony, they will totally do a Horizon variant of this at some point as well. A second open beta for Monster Hunter Wilds is happening in the first and second weekend of February, and next to the content from the first beta, we can now also fight returning monster Siphoros as new content, and the beta will feature crossplay as well. The character you make will carry over to the full game, by the way, but game progress won't, and there will be rewards again for playing this second open beta. A big thing though is that fixes made since the first open beta are not in this build of the game. Like especially on PC, people had a lot of issues running the game on lower settings, which resulted in some very funny memes. But it was also kind of worrying, like can they address these things before launch? So the second beta would be the perfect moment to prove that it got improved, but instead we are basically getting the same beta with an extra monster, so I'm curious how this will go over. I'm still excited to jump back in, and now on PS5 Pro. And a wild fact, by the way, Monster Hunter Wilds was in the top 100 best-selling games of 2024 on Steam, like the only 2025 game on this list. It's going to do insane sales numbers. And the second weekend actually has overlap with the network test for Elden Ring Night Rain. There will be 3 different sessions to test out the multiplayer spin-off game on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. I will leave a link to the sign-up page if you want to participate in the video description. No word on a PC test yet. The first Elden Ring also had a network test, and that was 3 months before launch, so it might hint at a May release for Night Rain. Now time for the rumor roundup, where I go over the biggest leaks and rumors of the week and give stars, with 3 being I believe it and 1 being I don't think this will happen. Another week and another Xbox games are coming to other platforms rumor. It's a whole list, so according to credible insider Nate the Hate, Flight Simulator 2 and the Halo Master Chief Collection are coming to PS5 and even Switch 2, after Nintendo will announce that, of course, later in the year. But then we have Jez Gordon from Windows Central adding some extra titles, according to his sources: Hellblade 2, Age of Mythology, and even Gears of War 1, the Ultimate Edition. And we of course know that Indiana Jones will be coming to PS5 in the spring as well. Especially Gears and Halo would of course be big, and starting with the remasters of the older games makes a lot of sense before they will probably in the future be launching the new games day one on PS5 as well. Like this week we learned that Xbox games in Game Pass can lose 80% of the premium sales, which of course also explains why a lot of them are coming over to PlayStation, because that is where people still buy games and spend money on them. Like this also wild, we learned that Marvel Rivals, the first month revenue is estimated at 136 million, with around the 36 from China alone. But the breakdown in the West shows that only 2.7 million was on Xbox, while at the time of this recording, it's the 6th most played game. 1/10 of what it made on PlayStation so far. So 3 stars for these rumors. I totally think that even more games than the ones I talked about here will be coming over to PS5 and even Switch 2. So yeah, Xbox has an insane 2025. Nate the Hate also shared that South of Midnight is in April, Doom already in May, and again the Oblivion remake should be in June, and even Gears of War E-Day launching at the end of the year. I give 2 stars for this. Again, Nate the Hate has been right countless of times, but I do think some of this could change, and in particular Doom in May seems very early. Also, some of the games shown in the developer direct last year were for the end of 2024, so we will see. And where does Fable fit into all this? Although, as I predicted in my big 2025 predictions video, that game will likely come out in 2026 instead. And if you want to see that full 2025 predictions video, I will leave a link to it in the video description. So this coming week, we have Dynasty Warriors Origins launch. There's a demo for that out, by the way, if you are curious. And on January 16th, there will be a demo for the first Berserker Kazan. So great idea to get that game into more people's hands. So if you want to try it out, you can. Also this coming week is that Assassin's Creed Shadows hands-on event for journalists and content creators. A countdown to my weekly gaming news stream on the React channel will also be in the video description. I will go in depth on the Ubisoft situation with some extra sources and talk about other gaming news, of course, with you. So I hope to see you there, and it's cool to see more and more people join that stream with me every week. On the main channel, I will have a very interesting Assassin's Creed Shadows video up, and maybe more than just one. So tons to go over. Subscribe to not miss anything. A like would really help me out, and check out our preview on Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, an amazing game so far, but it's not for everyone. You can watch it by clicking on the screen. I'll speak to you very soon. Goodbye.